If you are a home buyer and you are building a home that's new construction, or maybe you want to buy a new construction home, then you need to have a third-party home inspection, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's say you're buying a brand new construction home, or maybe you're just thinking about buying a brand new construction home, and you're probably thinking, hey, why would I need to have an inspection? Don't they put everything that's brand new in there? Isn't that house ready to roll? Yes, that is true, but here's the thing. New doesn't always mean perfect, and I can tell you, it's not going to be perfect. So a third-party inspection is like having really a second set of eyes on your house to make sure everything is exactly as it should be. So I want you to think of it like this. When you go to buy a brand new car, not a used one, but a brand new car, you know that it's already been inspected multiple times across that, assembly line, because you want to make sure that it's been inspected before it even hits that lot. So it's sort of the same idea here, right? You want to make sure your brand new house, your new construction house, is a solid investment from the get-go. And if you've watched this channel before, you've already heard me talk more and more about new construction buyers, my buyers. They're paying to have their own third-party home inspections. But even more so recently, they are having two separate third-party inspections. They're having one at the pre-drywall stage, and of course they're having another home inspection before the new home orientation walk that they take with the builder's construction supervisor. And if you haven't heard me talk about these things that I believe are really in your best interest, well, then you need to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you are always in the know the things that are really important to you when you make this kind of investment in buying a home. So let's dive in. Here are a few reasons why having your own inspection is really a smart move, because I believe it can save you money in the long run. Reason number one, builders hire their own inspectors. So you already know builders have county or what they call municipal inspectors, and they typically hire their own outside third-party quality control inspectors. Now, I know that all sounds great, like that should cover it, right? But those inspectors either work for the county or they work for the builder. They are not working for you, the buyer. And their job is to check code compliance. They are not there to look out for your best interests. Now, listen, I am not saying that the county inspectors or maybe the builder's quality control inspectors, I'm not saying they aren't doing a good job. But again, they are checking for the code compliance, which, believe it or not, is different from county to county and, of course, from state to state. And it could be very minimal in terms of workmanship. And don't forget, builders are human.
You're right. I'm only human.
Even the best builders can make mistakes, and they do. Maybe a subcontractor rushed through a job, forgot to do something. Maybe something got overlooked during construction. I've had that happen before. But by you hiring a third-party inspector, that inspector is going to catch those little things before they become really big problems for you later on. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you later the most common things that come up on a third-party inspection at both the pre-drywall and the new home orientation. So stick with me. We're going to get there. And since I've already brought it up, let's talk about code compliance. And that is the second reason to have your own home inspection. I'm telling you right now, code compliance is not enough. And of course, yes, the builder has to meet local building codes, but those are minimum standards. And when you hire your own inspector, that inspector can kind of go beyond the basics of those minimal standards, and they're going to look at the overall quality of the work. And that's where things get kind of spicy. Is the work shoddy? Is it going to last? Was it installed properly? Are the components in great working order? Are they clean? So passing a county inspection only means the home meets the minimum standards. It does not guarantee the workmanship quality, the proper installation, or that nothing was overlooked. Reason number 3, independent eyes can always catch stuff that other people miss. When you have a licensed third-party inspector, remember, they're working for you. They're not working for the builder. They want what's best for the person that's paying them to do that job, and that's you, the buyer.
Good. I guess I'm lucky you work for me.
And of course, that gives you peace of mind because you know that an independent professional has gone through the home, with a fine-tooth comb, and that's going to give you confidence. I always say there's nothing wrong with being able to sleep better at night when you know that there aren't any big hidden surprises waiting for you after you move in.
I don't want any surprises.
Reason number 4, fixes are much easier before you move in. So let's say there's something that needs to be fixed. It's easier to do it before you move in because once you close, sometimes getting the builder to address the problems can be more time consuming and of course stressful. You have to plan around their availability, that subcontractor's availability, and of course with your schedule. So it could take weeks sometimes to match up and get them back in there to take care of it. And what if they think you're the reason for something being messed up because you've already moved in? Yeah, that's not fun. Like they might think, yeah, maybe your kid put something down the toilet. Or maybe you put those little flushable wipes down the toilet. Then you're on the hook. So it's best to find the issues while the builder is still responsible for the correction. And believe me, they want to close on that house. And believe it or not, many construction supervisors, the people that are over the build of your home, they get bonuses when they close that house on time. So they want it to be right, but it's so important to know what those issues are before you close. And that's going to give you some warranty leverage. And of course, you know that most new homes, they all come with some sort of builder's warranty. So if the inspector finds some issues, you can address those with the builder before that warranty expires. So it's really like having a good old safety net. So every builder is kind of different on what they offer. A lot of them offer similar warranties, what they call a 1, 2, 10. So 1 year, kind of what they call bumper to bumper. They just cover stuff in the house. Some things they don't cover, like cracked tiles, because you could have broke it, like I said before. That's why you want to find it before you get in there. Then the 2-year warranty is typically for HVAC, electrical, and plumbing. So that's really good. And then most of them have a 10-year structural warranty. So that's not talking about cracks in your garage floor. We'll talk about that later. That's something we find a lot. That's just the nature of concrete. They don't usually do anything. But if it's a foundation issue where your house has moved and the wall is shifted and that sort of thing, then they have that 10-year structural. Now, I know some builders that also have like the 1 year, the 2 year. Some of them have like a 5-year as well, which is kind of cool. And then they have that 10-year, and some of them have the 1, 2, 7. They don't do 10 years on the foundation. It's only 7. So you really got to know that warranty with your builder. They're all a little different. That is something that when you take that new home orientation walk, and you've already had your inspector go there, and that new home orientation walk with a building supervisor, they're going to take time to tell you typically what that warranty is about. So most of my new home orientation walks will have the building supervisor there to kind of go you through the house, show you this is where the water shutoff is. This is how you turn the gas off if you have gas in the house. All of those, that's how the HVAC works, how to clean it, how to put a filter, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. But then they typically have a warranty person come in that will explain the process of the warranty, when to put in for something, if you've got a ticket to put in with the warranty department, and they go over what's covered and what is not covered. So that is a very important meeting. If you can be here for that meeting, it's so important. But again, I know a lot of my buyers, they live in other states, and so they're not always here for that warranty meeting. So we make sure we kind of do it a different way. I go to a lot of these, as you know, I showed you last week. I go to these by myself. So these are very important meetings that you need to be a part of. Make sure you know the warranty and what it covers and what it doesn't cover. Reason to get your own home inspection number 5. And we've already hit on this, but it's for peace of mind and investment protection. You already know, duh, a home is one of the biggest investments you ever make, whether it's your first one or your fifth one or your 20th one. And whether it's a $300,000 house or a $3 million house, to you, what you're spending is a lot of money. So spending a little bit extra on an inspection now, like I've said already, can save you thousands of dollars down the road. Reason number 6, it is an industry best practice. So yes, real estate agents have been recommending third-party inspections on new construction homes for many, many, many years. Now, I will say when I started off in Colorado, we didn't see it as much, but then we really started saying, hey guys, you know what, as issues came up during that new home orientation walk, started saying, you know, it's a smart idea to have a pre-drywall and a new home orientation walk. So I think that that's something that definitely is being said now by most real estate agents, or it should be. I hope that that's what you're hearing from your real estate professional. So it is becoming more of an industry standard to do it. Listen, we're not getting any special perks from inspectors for them to come out to your house. We want your house to be solid. We want you to be happy with your house. We don't want you to have problems later on down the road, because we really would like to sell it later on down the road. So that's why many of us are recommending that you have these third-party home inspections. Have that pre-drywall inspection. Again, these are for homes that don't have the drywall yet. They're just framed inside. And at that meeting, it's important, again, if you have your third-party inspector go in at the pre-drywall, well, guess what? They get to see what's behind the walls because the walls haven't been put up yet. So that's really important. And yes, we're going to talk about things they find there, because they do find things. Sometimes the plumbing's in the wrong place. Yeah, had that happen. It was in a closet, not where it should have been. Sometimes the windows are out of whack. Sometimes the electrical is not in the right place. Sometimes the framing they did, there's a piece of 2x4 or 2x6 or whatever they've used is really cracked. And so you can go through there with your home inspector. And I do recommend that if you're here, if you're in town, try to go to those inspections. It's important for you to kind of walk around. Sometimes inspectors say, hey, let me do my job first, then we'll talk about what I found. It just depends on who you have out there. But that is the time where your inspector can see everything that's behind the walls before they cover it with drywall, because once they cover it with drywall, you don't know what's back there. And that ain't cool. They're going to take that list of items that comes from your inspector, and you'll be able to give it to your construction manager. Then you can address those things when you have your walk, your pre-drywall walk with the building inspector, and they can explain things, tell you how if there's things they need to fix or move around or whatever, they can make sure that that's done. So that's an important reason that I'm telling you to have this third-party inspection twice now. And some people are getting it 3 times. I'll tell you about that in a second. But definitely get it at the pre-drywall. Then about a week to 2 weeks before you close on that house, they're going to schedule that new home orientation walk. And again, that's where the builder walks through the house with you, tells you this is how all of the components of the home work. And you make sure that everything is done the way you like. You're going to put little pieces of green tape and blue tape and, you know, paint touch up, and the screen is torn here and there's a scratch there, whatever. That is your opportunity to do that walkthrough with your construction supervisor. So you want to have another inspection a few days prior. Sometimes people have it the morning of that new home orientation. I always say try to get in there a few days prior and get that done. And then that list again is given to your construction manager, and they have the opportunity to walk through those things, make sure everybody's on the same page, and explain to you how this is going to get fixed, if something needs to be reordered. All of that is very important. So let's go over a few things that you're probably asking. First of all, do builders allow third-party inspections? And of course, yes, they all have different requirements. So I want to go over just one that I have with Manatee Homes. I just had this one last week. You guys know, if you've watched this channel, I do several third-party inspections and new home orientation walks a lot, several times a week. So I just had this one a few days ago. Manatee actually has an addendum, but some builders have their third-party inspector information just built into the contract itself. But this one just says buyer at its sole cost and expense with at least 48 hours prior written notice to the seller can have whether it's the third-party inspection at the drywall stage, pre-drywall, or at the new home orientation walk before that. They can have that. They also have to abide by any reasonable restrictions and safety requirements established by the seller. So, you know, they got to play the game, do what the seller wants them to do, be there at the time the seller wants them to be there, and have to coordinate that. And, of course, they can't be Uncle Ned. So you can't just bring your uncle over there and then have your uncle tell them, hey, there's some things wrong with this house. It's got to be a licensed professional that is also a member of one of the Society of Home Inspectors, whether it's some sort of nationally recognized trade organization. It's done all the time. It's no big deal. They're very good about it. And they're really usually very good about working with what the inspector comes up with. So, of course, I want to show you a few examples of what these third-party inspections look like, what the reports look like. It's going to be different with each inspector. They all have their own platform or kind of portal that they use to put them up. Some of them are easier to read than others, but let's look at a few examples.
Here's a few inspection report examples. They're always going to be delivered digitally. Typically, we'll have a picture of the outside of the house, and then there's a table of contents kind of show you where you can find everything for that particular report. Then they'll have a general inspection detail page, just basically telling what was the weather like, what time of day was it when they gave, what was the temperature when they went to have that inspection. And then some inspectors will put their summary notice of everything that they found at the front of the report, some at the back of the report. But here's an example. It'll show you what paragraph. You know, they found things on the exterior, the HVAC, the kitchen cabinets. They'll just do a whole summary of all the things they found in one place. And then you'll see the rest of it is where they go room by room, component by component. You'll see they take a lot of pictures of every angle of the house. They'll also have drone pictures of the roof and of the lot itself and how it sits on the lot. So they do a lot of pictures of the house. Then you see they start going from component to component. Here they're taking pictures of the water meter outside. Then they'll take individual pictures of everything, the thermostat, how did the house do as far as temperature. You'll see here some of the cracked tile on the roof. They're going to take pictures, show you where it is so that the building construction supervisor knows exactly where to find those things. So this is all very important, and they do it for each component on all of the things that they found wrong that you saw.
And of course, your next question is, how do you find a really good third-party home inspector? So I have found the best way for you to find a really good home inspector is I usually have about 10, a list of 10 that my buyers have used and that my buyers really liked. And I make sure I don't endorse them personally. I don't know them. I've never had them on my own house. But these are some home inspectors that my buyers have really enjoyed using. And so I usually give you 10 or 11 of those, and you can call them all. But I always encourage you, look for yourself, look online, read Yelp, read, Google, definitely talk to people that have used good third-party inspectors and have had good results with them and feel like the money was well spent. And I will say too, just throwing this in there because I might as well, I have some people that are now starting to get another home inspection at the end of the first year of the warranty of the builder. So month 11, because month 12 is when it's done. At month 11, a lot of people are getting another inspection. We'll do another video about that because that's a different ball of wax. A lot of people are having that end of the warranty at month 11 inspection so that if they find anything before that warranty is gone, before it is done, they can get that taken care of by the builder, and they've got the proof to say, hey, these things are not working because I had an inspection. And of course, the other question you're asking is, how much money, Catherine? How much is all this going to cost? Well, yeah, you are making an investment here. They're not cheap, sorry to say. First, it's going to depend on the square footage. I would say they're ranging anywhere on the small end from about $400, and I've seen some go up close to $900. I know. So I'm not saying it's for each one. So maybe the Pre-drywall might be a different rate, and the new home orientation one is different. But, you know, again, you have to talk to the inspectors when you call, and you also want to make sure that they have that report for you ready. You don't want to be waiting 3 days for that report. Most of them have it due within 24 hours. So drum roll, the moment you've all been waiting for. What are the common issues found by these third-party inspectors? One of them, and this comes up a lot, is improperly installed roof shingles or flashing. So sometimes the flashing is off, maybe a panel, a roof shingle is not secure or whatever. We find electrical outlets are wired backwards, plumbing leaks or missing insulation. There's also been grading and drainage problems that can cause flooding. And you guys, you know, we've had nonstop rain for weeks and weeks. Oh my God, we've had so much rain. I feel like a fish. So you want to make sure the drainage is right. We've seen sprinkler system issues. And what I said before, garage floor cracks, not big issues. Again, we'll go over that in another video. So I hope this has helped you. It should, because it really is important that you have these third-party home inspections. I want you to think about it really, really carefully. If you have any questions about it, give me a call. I can certainly go over, again, any more information that you need about third-party inspections. It's really in your best interest. And if you're thinking about moving to these areas of Manatee or Sarasota County, I think it's really important because, you know, we have a lot of issues here. We got bugs, we got water, we got hurricanes, so mold. Oh my gosh, we got all kinds of fun stuff here in Florida. So it's important for you to be aware of the terrain here and the issues that we deal with. So if you have any questions, I sure hope you will hit me up. I'd be happy to chat with you about your journey, maybe what your thoughts are for moving down here. And if I can help you even in another state, if you're looking for someone and you need to sell or whatever, I have a great network. We're called Power Agents. It's a top 1% of agents across the country. Great real estate agents, even in your neck of the woods. If you're not sure, you want to find someone that you can trust wherever you live, I'd be so happy to help connect you with the right person that's going to help you get to your next level in life. And as I said before, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're always in the know of things and you always know when the new video is available about real estate or just things in general about the areas. I'm Catherine Newman. I'm so glad you joined me today. If I can answer any questions, give me a ring-a-roo. See you next time.